Well, here we are with Waller Brew, setting up for my next Homebrew Wednesday. So, we say homebrew, we're thinking beer, wine. So, some would call it wine. This is Makgeolli. It is made from rice. This particular one is 6% alcohol by volume. You can see it's kind of milky in appearance. There is a slight carbonation to it. You can taste when you're drinking it. The reason why I'm showing this is I'm going to be trying to brew up some Makgeolli here this weekend. So there's a little bit of a sour note. It's also a little sweet. I see an ingredients listing that we got water, rice, sugar, calcium citrate. So I think they may have added the sugar to sweeten it after it was brewed, or after it was fermented. Not sure. In the Makgeolli that I am going to be making, I am going to have sweet rice, nuruk, which is a enzyme to break down the starch in rice to sugar, and then a little yeast to convert the sugar to alcohol, and of course water. So stay tuned for Waller's Homebrew with Makgeolli.
Hi, Les Waller's Homebrew Wednesday. This time we're doing some Korean rice wine, better known as Makgeolli and Dongdongju. So I've already sanitized, washed this, I sanitized it with Star San. Now I've put some 80 proof vodka in there, you can see here. A little extra steps for sanitation. So the vodka's already in here. Swirl it around really good. Cover the sides. Now I suppose if you wanted to recycle this, you could, since it's a clean vodka. I mean, you could recycle it, put it in a shot glass or glass and make a mixed drink with it. But as this is a really cheap vodka, I'm not going to do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get the inside of the lid here as I'm dumping it out. Alright, all sanitized and ready to go. So the nuruk, as you buy it in the bag here, has whole grains in it. Some of it's mixed up, some of it's not. So one recommendation was, if you don't have a grinder, is to use a rolling pin on the table. Although I see what that's doing is it looks like it's making holes in the Ziploc bag. So I put some aluminum foil underneath to keep it sanitized, because our kitchen table is probably not the cleanest thing. So after I do this, then it's cooled down enough, then we'll spread the nuruk on top of the rice, and then we'll put the rice and the nuruk into the water jar, and then we'll add our yeast, and we'll wrap it up, and we'll be brewing.
Alright, here we are finishing up Homebrew Wednesday. We've gone ahead and finished preparing the fermentation jar. And so I'm going to try and make some notes right now about some things I learned in the process. Of course, you shouldn't have a homebrew video without having some homebrew. So this is still part of my second batch. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do better. So I had a plan, had things written down, but I think I need to have a better plan with the steps. You go ahead and, you know, print it out step by step. Here's what I'm doing, here's what I need to do, rather than having something handwritten. A little bit more pre-prepping before things start cooking. The rice only took 40 minutes to be fully steamed, so that cut short. Of course, while it was steaming, you know, I did the sanitizing. What else did I get? Where is it? See, I did have a list, you know, so we boiled the grain bags, which we actually ended up doing before the steaming, makes sense. We sanitized everything. I didn't get the noodle crushed while it was being boiled. It took me too long to do sanitization. I changed it. I was going to use this, and I changed. I'm going to use that. All of a sudden, now the rice is done and ready to be cooled. So, you know, spread it on the table and spread it all out so that it could cool more quickly. And then I'm rolling out the noodle, trying to crush the grains and stuff. And next thing you know, almost all the rice is already at room temperature. So I'm like, oh, now what do I do? And okay, now I got to pour water in the jar and try and make up my mind. Do I want to add the noodle to the rice first? Oh, or just do like they say and throw everything in the jar, because so many different ways people say, oh, I make it this way, this group says I make it this way. So finally I just decided, okay, let's put the rice in the jar. Then I put the noodle in the jar, stirred it around well so everything's together. And then I took the yeast and put that in the jar and stirred that in really well. Then we went to go with the paper towel option over the top of the jar. And these paper towels that they sell now are, you know, 4 or 5 inches, and then they have the dotted strip. And I'm trying to put a band around it, and it separates because, you know, they easily separate. So I'm like, oh, paper towels aren't working. I don't have rubber bands. I'm using a bungee cord, which is strong and easily tears the paper. So then finally I went with the grain bag over the jar with the bungee cord. Because I had 2 grain bags that were boiled. One ended up used one just for the steaming, so I still had one that was sanitized, and so I draped that over the top of the jar. And we put the jar in the bedroom on top of a chair, so it's in a dark place. And so now we're in the fermentation process. So I'll visit back. Today is actually Monday, so I'll do a 24-hour shot tomorrow, and then another 24-hour shot, so 48-hour shot on Wednesday. I'll go ahead and upload this video at that time, and then I'll do some updates added into the next Homebrew Wednesday's video. So, yeah, once things got moving, it's like, do this, do that, and then it's like you're done. Oh, time for cleanup. I'm like, oh, I didn't even have a chance to open a beer because everything just got flying around. It's like, wow. So, if you count the Makgeolli, I guess that's my 3rd homebrew. I'm already planning on the 4th one this weekend. So I'm going to try and keep this short. I did take pictures along the way, and you'll have already seen these by the time you hear me talk here. And I plan on doing some narrating with the photos and experiment with that part of the video editing process. So time to relax. Cheers, everyone. This is a test recording of the sound of the Makgeolli Dongdongju fermenting, starting now. Now that's what Makgeolli Dongdongju should sound like. This is between the first and second day. So if you're hearing that sound, it's doing a good thing. So you can actually see the rice and stuff moving around, the action of the water there. It's not static. Alright, so that pretty much ends the Homebrew Wednesday video for the Makgeolli session. The next session we should be doing a review of how it tastes and the start of the next batch with the Polish Dark Ale. So, cheers 17. Here's to you.